I'm keen for this. Obviously, this is going to be our final check-in ultimately,
I know.
and it's going to be quite different in terms of like it won't be obviously like let's focus on the next 2 weeks. How do we actually move forward? It's
Mm,
probably going to be a bit more reflective and just
hmm.
like setting you up for success long term, which I think
Yep.
you're at that point. That's why, you're finishing up. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean?
yep.
So first, let's maybe reflect on the past 2 weeks in itself. I know you were saying, look, smashed all movements, you were integrating new exercises. Was that the weighted pull-ups that you were on about?
Yeah, so weighted pull-ups, and then this week on the weekend where I did my upper, I did with the barbell and the heads. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, dude, they're the best.
And there wasn't a bench free to do the pull downs, but I guess I've started to go with the bar instead of dumbbells
Cool.
for bicep curls as well. So I think just trying to
Awesome.
integrate some of that just to freshen things up a bit. Because I was starting to feel with a couple of exercises starting to get a little bit, okay, I need to freshen this up a little bit. Mm.
Happens all the time. And like what I'd say is that variety, like don't be afraid to change things.
Mm. Mm.
I do the exact same. When I see something that I'm like, oh, that'd be cool, brilliant,
Mm.
add it in
Mm.
or replace it. What we
Mm.
don't want to be doing is changing the program every week, of
Mm.
course, but
Mm.
every few months is absolutely fine. And if it's not like it's a whole brand new change, it's just maybe you're doing a certain movement on a bench in comparison to not on a bench, and realistically, you're targeting the exact same muscles just in a slightly different way. So I'm all for that aspect. That's
Yep.
awesome. Yeah. And sleep. I know sleep has always been a recurring theme this entire time, obviously, with the little ones kind of
Yeah.
disturbing you. So it's not
Mm.
like it's not something that you're
Mm.
truly within your control. But yeah, how has that been?
Look, it's been, I think we're doing better and trying to get to bed a bit earlier. And I think it's sort of like whatever happens after that is kind of out of our control. And
Yeah.
like today, like last night I was lights out at 9:30. But then Billy was in our room, so Beth was off, and then Darcy woke up at 4, and so I was up with her for an over an hour, and then I was like, I guess I'm kind of awake now. So it's sort of those things where it's just like it's not consistently bad in the same way every night. I guess it can really vary, and that's where it kind of
Yeah.
can muck you up. But I guess like sleeping 9 to 4, that's 7 hours. 9:30
Yeah.
till 4:30. That's not too bad. I guess it's kind of like it's more the every night is different. The inconsistency. So it's sort of like I sleep well when I'm asleep, but then it's when I get woken up. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's all right.
But you do well, very well with what you
Mm.
can.
Mm.
In reality, this isn't something that's in your control. You
Mm.
got two little ones that are causing this for you. So I think, a lot of people will realize they can't control something and get frustrated at that. And it's just
Mm.
like, oh, hey, let's just control what we can control and be okay
Mm.
with that because that's all we
Yep.
can kind of do. But great to hear about you smashing the workouts and just, still
Mm.
putting in that input and time. I think what was awesome to read just in this check-in, I think you kind of made sure this check-in was a bit more of a summarized one of the entire time as well, which was awesome.
Mm.
But
Mm.
just that line about, hey, this feels like it's just habitual now. It's
Mm.
new lifestyle, and that gives
Mm.
me a lot of confidence, you finishing up and being able to keep this routine in flow as well. Is that the case for you? Do you feel like, hey, actually, for the next 6 months, I'm going to be really sweet myself, and if I do run into a problem, I know how to kind of overcome that?
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it. It's sort of knowing that it's kind of habitual. And I think too, like I think I wrote, I was like, oh, it's been a little bit snacky. So like PBEs
Yeah.
maybe have been a little
Yeah.
bit more flexible, but I'm also just like, it's not the end of the world. I'm tired. I'm gonna have some chocolate. That's fine. But it's also like it's not then a complete blowout. And I know it's like, well, the next day is not going to be,
Yeah.
the same. And it's kind of doesn't give permission to sort of just say that all bets are off and I'm just gonna descend into junk food and this is all undone. I think it's kind
Spot
of
on.
just being like, yeah, it is what it is. Today was this day, back to normal programming tomorrow, sort of thing. So but yeah, it's the habit, it's the knowledge, it's kind of going in knowing, well, this is how I should portion my food. This is how, I fill myself up in the morning so that I'm not just like ravenous throughout the day. This is, it's so ingrained now. And I think it's like it only has benefits in that aspect where it's like it's only good for myself to eat this way because I feel good, I feel full, I feel, I have as much energy as I could have, depending on my sleep and all that nonsense.
Mm.
So yeah, I think it's I feel confident in that way because it's just ingrained it's just every day. I'm not having to think about it. I'm not having to go out of my way to think about, oh, how am I actually going to do this? How am I going to portion this? How am I going to, you just kind of do it.
So good to hear, man. And
Mm,
it is really that awareness, that mindfulness. Like,
mm,
I think bad habits can creep in, but when they
mm,
do, they come very slowly. And you kind of
mm.
like realize after a few weeks or months of like, oh crap, this is really snowballed.
Yeah.
So it's just really having that awareness at times.
Mm,
And I think the two kind of big ones for that is alcohol and like sweet treats. And you're
mm,
absolutely right. Like a few beers over a fortnight, a few bits of chocolate, they're not
mm,
going to push you back, not at all.
mm,
It's going to give you
mm,
that kind of like balance that you need, but it's just
mm,
making sure that, hey, am I actually at 20% with this, or am I leaning more towards 30 and 40? And if you are, it's like, right,
mm,
let's just make sure we, rein ourselves back in, pull ourselves back in, and,
mm.
eat a certain way, because otherwise we know what the kind of the outcome is if we don't.
But I think too, it's like yesterday I was at work and someone's mum or mother-in-law brought in baklava. So like, well, I'm obviously going to
Oh yeah.
have two
Yeah.
pieces of that. But it's also like, well, then I don't need to have dessert. Like I've eaten good PB throughout the rest of the day. So I'm like, I don't like it's sort of you can kind of just make up or edit or just, and you don't feel like I'm not like missing out. I'm not losing anything. I'm not like craving things to a point where I'm just like, oh, I really need that whole giant bag of chips or that whole block of chocolate. It's kind of like you can, I still being able to enjoy that stuff. It doesn't then feel like it's a huge sacrifice because you're still getting it, throughout. You're not sort of
Yeah.
completely throwing it out the window.
The
Yeah.
guilt aspect is
Mm,
removed itself. Good.
absolutely. And I think it's just sort of that reframing because again, you sort of don't know how to fix it when you don't know how to fix it. I think I was saying this the
Yeah.
other day. It's like you don't know what you don't know. It's kind of like, well, I have this knowledge now, so it's kind of like yeah, things do go backwards, and I'm like, well, then I kind of know what to do to kind of get it back on board. Whereas previously, I'm sort of like, yeah, eat less calories or don't eat, cut this thing off
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable. So
No.
anyway, yeah, so
Awesome.
feeling optimistic.
And the
Mm,
last 2 weeks, man, have been phenomenal, as you say. Like it's a really good send off. I think, just on in terms of like interpreting the numbers, looking at your physique,
mm,
like what has been awesome, right? Is like, your goal was never necessarily like, hey, yeah, drop 10, 20 kilos. There's
mm,
more around the body comp. And
mm,
like over this 6 months, your weight has changed. I think you've lost a kilo, right?
mm,
In total weight. But
mm,
obviously your body fat has dropped
mm,
so much. And
mm,
and in the meantime, obviously you've been putting on a lot of muscle considering the way we've been training. And that's kind of promoted as well by your hip and waist measurements
mm,
in himself. So I think you kind of already knew this, but I just really want to caveat that your kind of weight probably will always stay
mm,
around this kind of mark that it is now.
mm,
And where you just want to see the change in essence is in that kind of hip and waist ratio. And that depends on how far you want to take it, man, because yeah, you
mm,
said it in your form and I agree, you look awesome. Like the
mm,
physique is really, really solid.
mm,
The difference is dramatic,
mm,
in the last few months. So
mm.
yeah, I guess in your eyes, like, are you more settling around kind of maintenance of where you are? Do you feel like you still want to push things a bit further? Where almost are you in that?
I think I want to still. I think because realizing sort of the mental and the physical benefits of the gym and what the way I've been working out. I think it's sort of not just then about the physique or what how
Yeah,
I feel in my body. By the end of it, it's kind of like well, actually, for my brain and for enjoyment is like I really enjoy going to the gym. I will continue to go, at this pace. I feel like I'll probably end up land on like a 7 day fortnight of going to the gym and then chucking in a run also in there, just knowing how my weeks have kind of gone over the whole time. I think I sort of said, four and a run, and it's probably more realistically been sort of like 7 days a fortnight that I've gotten into the gym. And I'm like, that is totally like
perfect.
manageable and I've managed that. And I think I can manage that going forward. So I think it's kind of about I still want to push myself in terms of the gym. I probably won't increase the frequency of going, but I think I'm like, I've never been this strong. I've never been able to lift this much. I've never been able to be this, active and really kind of enjoy it. So I think I'll continue on with that. I think it's sort of in a sense maintenance, but I think I still want to continue to push how I go. I don't want to just sort of sit and
Yeah.
like where you get a bit stagnant. I don't want to just kind of be doing this same thing for the next 2 years. It's like I obviously want to continue to push myself in the gym and try different things and
Yeah.
see how far I can push it that way whilst maintaining the things I've learned in terms of diet and balance and that sort of stuff.
And I think there's kind of music to my ears. I mean, when it comes to, what we were speaking about the other day when we trained together, I was like, look, I don't really care about how strong I am nowadays. I just
Mm,
kind of really like how strong I am. I like how I look. I like how I
mm,
move and how I feel.
mm,
And, that means that, hey, my strength in the gym, for example, like over the last 6, 12 months hasn't actually increased much, I would
mm,
say.
mm.
But I'm so fine with that because that's in line with my kind of expectations and my goals for myself. And I just want
Yeah.
to normalize that. It's like
Mm,
when we get to this point which we're happy and we're
mm,
satisfied, it's like
mm,
that was the whole point, to
mm,
get to this
mm,
point. So why are we not staying in that point? Like
mm,
let's
mm.
sit with this. And yeah, I want to kind of just make sure, you take that grain of wisdom, I should say, because yeah, I always thought, oh, I'll get to this place and that will be everything. And then you get to that place and you're like, oh, well, what's next? And
Mm,
you're always
mm.
just chasing your tail, basically.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think
Uh,
you're in an awesome place at the moment, and you may want to push it a bit further.
mm.
Um, but yeah, I want you to also like hopefully take time, and hopefully you have taken a lot of time to just reflect and be like, wow, you've really done a really good job because you and Beth both.
And I think too, it's like yeah, I was even like looking. I mean, I was kind of just like sort of sussing the physique today and just kind of being like, it is completely different. And I was like, and again, I don't think the photos, you know your own body, and just like this can't, I
Yeah,
can't. It
yeah,
doesn't capture like just how different I look.
yeah,
Um, but it's that thing too where and I think that like you're right. So that sweet spot for me for running is I'm like I run just because I can and it feels good, and I'm not tracking anything. I will go for half an hour. That's all it. I'm not trying to go as fast as I can. I'm not trying to go as far as I can. I'm just going and
yeah,
enjoying that kind of little mindful time. And so I think there's still a little part of me, like talking about star signs of the day. I'm a raging Capricorn. So I always feel like I need to have a little something to keep me motivated, but I also want to be able to like, yeah, harness the sort of contentment, feeling good about doing the thing because you're doing the thing, not just
uh,
like
yeah.
achieving the next thing.
Yeah, with that as well, I remember when we went through that journey as
Mm,
well, where yeah, you were almost running and it was so focused on pace and stuff like that. And this
mm,
is something that I again experienced, hence why I kind of gave you the advice I did in the moment.
mm,
But
mm,
yeah, it is so freeing when you can just go on a run for the sake of wanting to go on a run,
mm, mm,
not track any data, come
mm,
back. Like I did this over the weekend. I
mm,
went, was probably not 8 or 9, 10K. I don't know how far I went,
mm,
what
mm,
pace. It
mm,
was just phenomenal. I just got
mm,
lost in the run. And that is
mm,
the whole
mm,
point of it.
mm, mm.
Versus
Yeah.
when we have all this data surrounding us, we just focus so much on that and actually kind of it takes so much attention away from the point of running in itself.
And just kind of looking around, and I would always find as like I'm always like looking, if I was running to try and get a particular pace, I'm always like really mindful of like, looking at my feet, looking at my watch, looking at this, looking at that. But then I was actually like I was running on Mary Creek the other day. I was like, oh, this is really nice. Like, look at all the trees and stuff. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
lovely. Or even just running in the streets of Coburg and just
yeah,
kind of like, oh, like I've never noticed that house before. I was like, oh, that's kind
yeah.
of they've done some
Spot
renos, so
on.
they've knocked that one down, that one's burnt down. And I always used to be like such a, oh, I can't stop. If it gets to a
Yeah.
red light, I have to like keep
Yes.
going. I'm just like, no, I'll just
Yeah.
stop
Can't
and
take a
just
photo.
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
Do the
yeah,
exact
I
same.
think with the gym, it's kind of like there needs to be a little. There needs to be a little something, but I want to just get to a real comfortable place of like I'm just going and doing it for the enjoyment as well, which I
Yeah.
do, which I think I do. But it's like yeah,
Yeah.
everything has sort of felt very goal driven. So maybe now it's like without the program, it's kind of just like we'll just let it all
Yeah.
wash over and just kind of enjoy it
Yeah.
for all the other benefits.
Awesome. Well,
Mm,
look, in terms of yeah, the next few months, next few years, like whenever you or Beth, I know I've got my call with Beth next week,
mm,
final one, and I'll kind of say the same to her. But whenever you guys need me, feel free to reach out. Like even
mm,
if it's not, like oh, I want to get back into coaching, I just have a general question. Like yeah, of
mm,
course, just shoot it through.
mm,
Um, in terms of the future, like I always let clients that want to stay in the group chat, stay in the group chat. Just in
mm.
case you guys don't want to, you can leave. That's fair enough. But it's always quite nice when we have like almost graduates in to kind of look
Mm,
after everyone.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess the nutrition, the Rainbow Plate Challenge will be kind of the final one too. So hopefully you got on a bit of a bang with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Have second win.
If I come second again, I'm just like, fuck this group. I'm out of
Nah,
here.
if you come second again in free time, in both free, in all
Yeah.
three of the prizes, I'll give you like your own individual prize once again.
It needs to be like the Marcus commemorative award for
Yeah,
always coming
yeah.
second place and
It
just
really
like,
does.
yeah,
It really
yeah.
does.
No,
But
but
hey,
like honestly,
second is
it
good.
yeah, second is great. You're placing. Like I never aim to finish first. I'm just like wherever if I'm all about participation. It's kind of like second is good. Second is a win.
Yeah,
But yeah, like even after our catch the other day, Leif and I were just like, we're so glad that we did this. And I think we were kind of
good.
reflecting that we didn't know what this was gonna look like or what we, kind of needed it to be. But I think
Yeah,
that like in terms of what we've gotten out of it has sort of I don't know, like speak for myself, it exceeded my expectations. And I think that, what you've done and your support has been amazing and incredible. And I'm very grateful and I'm very glad that you popped up on my reels and I was like, this is
yeah.
and it's yeah, like I can't thank you enough and appreciate all the support and the hard work you've put into us too. So
Yeah,
thank
thank you, man.
you.
That's really kind. I like you
Mm.
saying that. That's awesome. And it's been
But
awesome to work with you guys again.
mm.
Some of my favorite LTYV members. And it's funny
Yeah.
how just cyclic like how that works in itself.
Absolutely. And I think it's like, and I think that, Listen to Your Body at the time was very much there for a reason and that kind of like re-kicked back in
Yeah,
sort of the fitness stuff and then realizing that, I want to push further and I want better for myself in terms of my fitness and my body and my lifestyle, then it's led to good things. So
yeah.
it's very appreciative. So thank you very much.
Likewise, man. No, thank
Mm.
you. It's been an
Mm.
awesome time as well. I love when clients finish up. I also hate when clients finish up.
Mm.
Like it's like a bittersweet moment.
Mm.
But no, you and Beth have just been awesome to work with. So yeah, thank you as well for being stellar clients in that respect.
Look at us. And I haven't, I won't watch the video of our interview back, but Beth was like, oh, it's on there. I was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna like scroll past if it comes on.
Yeah,
I can't.
yeah, you don't have to.
I was
Yeah.
just like,